Well, hello again. Welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife magazine, here again with my new partner in crime, Richard Jones. Richard, good to see you again today.
Good to see you, Eric. It's been a whole week.
Yeah, been a whole week. I know, but and let's be honest, you and I have had a couple of meetings. We talked a little bit once in a while via text. I know you were sending me texts last night after I was finishing my dinner. So we're never completely out of touch with one another, which
No, it's a good thing that to have a situation like this 10 years ago would have been pretty tough, but we can stay connected pretty easily now. So just like being in the same room.
Amen. Amen. And eventually, I suppose if our offices reopen, then you and I will be in studio together. What a concept. I'll be waiting for that. So
Yeah,
because I don't think you and I were ever, because I know on occasion when I would be traveling and my former compadre Paul Shrimp would be in studio. I know he enlisted your aid in studio a couple of times, but I don't think I ever did. I think I had other people standing in when Paul happened to be traveling. But yeah, it'll be an experience. We'll see how we look on green screen, I guess.
I'll make sure I wear green that day. Yeah.
Yeah, funny story. I do remember the first time. I know the folks who watch our videos regularly will remember Box Person, which was my son. I remember one time we showed up in studio and to my horror, I realized it was like a St. Patrick's Day thing, and he had worn a bright green shirt. And boy, I know we had to have him basically sit still for most of that video because every time he moved, he sort of faded out and became a floating box head, which was not fun.
Well, something to look forward to.
Well, anyhow, moving on to some news of the day of this week, actually. I know, Richard, one thing that our ag retail viewers are always interested in is how the farmer customers are doing financially. And I actually ran across a report this week from USDA that is projecting that farm income. This is one of those good news, bad news deals. The bad news is they're predicting net farm income for 2022 is going to drop from 119.1 billion, which was the 21 number, to 113.7 billion. So that is the bad news there. But on the good side, the USDA report did point out that the 10-year average for net grower income on a yearly basis is about 90 billion. So again, 113.7 billion. The growers are still going to be making more money in 22. And as you will remember, in 21, a lot of that income they were getting was coming from COVID aid and, the China trade dispute aid that they were getting, help from the government on. So here in 22, looks like they're going to stand on their own and they're still going to make over $100 billion. So
that's great news to hear. And it's a good reminder that that 119 was not just purely from the normal sources. And it sounds like with some of the supply chain issues and the pricing issues, a lot of inputs, it'll be a benefit to have that little extra income this year for sure.
Yep. Amen. Amen. Well, unfortunately, we do have some sad news to share with our viewers today. I'm sure there's a lot of folks out in the industry that have had dealings in the past with a gentleman by the name of Quentin, as we had as well. He actually helped organize a couple of trade shows with us over the years. And unfortunately, we have to report that last Saturday, Quentin unexpectedly passed away at the young age of 56. I know that he was the founder of PAQ Interactive, which was based in Monticello, Illinois. And I know, Richard, like I say, I've worked with Quentin for better than 20 years and visited his office on one occasion. And, it was a very nice place. He had a nice whiteboard, basically with all the scribbles and notes about all the upcoming events that he was helping to coordinate and work on. And, took me into the middle of town. We had a great lunch, really, really cordial guy, very nice guy, and will be sincerely missed. And of course, our condolences go out to his family on the loss.
Absolutely. I know how much of a resource and a friend to Meister he was with some of the events that you mentioned that we worked on together. So sincere condolences to his family. That's a loss to the industry. We're really sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. So then one other bit of news I guess you have to share with us. We were talking about events a moment ago. We've got one coming up here in beginning of March, if you want to share some information on that with our viewers.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks. So we do have Maestro Media's annual biological event that we do, the BioControls USA Conference and Expo. We're going to be back out in Monterey, California this year. So our first time back in Monterey in probably 6 or 7 years, maybe. But it's a great place to be, right in the middle of so much vegetable production and just a lot of good specialty crop production overall. This is a great event we've been doing again for about 10 years. Really focuses on biologicals of all kinds. So, the biopesticides, but also biostimulants, we're getting into biofertilizers, and just really good information on how they work in different crops, how growers and PCAs, consultants, people who need to know how to use these products can put them to work productively, profitably. So it's a great event, a day and a half on March 1st and 2nd, but then we've also got a really good field tour put together. It's going to happen on Monday, the 28th of February. Going to be visiting a number of large operations, Taylor Farms, Laguna Mist. We're going to be visiting a Wilbur Ellis research facility, and then a vineyard and a greenhouse operation as well. So lots of good stuff to see. Anybody who's involved or interested in biological products and putting those to work efficiently and effectively for growers, this is a great opportunity. So I encourage everybody to come check it out.
Okay, and I'm sure we'll put up the web link, the web address on our screen here so folks can check it out for themselves. And there obviously is still time to register if they're interested. So.
Absolutely. Hope to see some folks out there.
All right. Well, Richard, I know last week this wasn't an in-person event, but it was a virtual event, a webinar. I was privy to host. Was one of our PACE Executive Series webinars, and the topic was earning closer partnerships with farmers. And I had 3 ag retailers joining me on that call: Amy Asmus from Asmus Farm Supply, John Olster from the Morrill Companies, and Greg Musson from Gar Bennett out in California. And I know for those of you who might have missed it, here's a little clip of Greg talking about how ag retailers, especially independents like himself, are dealing with larger growers in the marketplace today.
One of the nice things is we're probably dealing with fewer customers now in many respects. It's understanding how best to deal with them, because you are many times dealing just with if you're talking just price on product, which they want to keep as a separate conversation, right? You really are working from a disadvantage from a bean counter standpoint, because that's all they're concerned with, is that. What they don't seem to understand is the production side. Now, most everything we do is permanent crop here in California, but that's been interesting, to work with these big guys and try and figure out what services we can bring to them that they really might have an interest in, right? And once we get that on a positive note, they always ask about chemicals and fertilizer, frankly. We may go in talking about irrigation or automation or, food safety or one of the other services that we might provide. But ultimately, they're trying to simplify their life. They really are. If they could buy everything from one place, I think they would. But they have a deep burning distrust of, take advantage of them somehow, right? And they don't understand that, when you're delivering product in small quantities to 30 different sites that they want you to drop it off at, there's an expense to that isn't the cheapest way to do it. But like we're seen right now, I mean, I don't know if probably AV's not having this problem, but our barn only holds $30 million worth of product. So, we can't stock for these big guys unless we know we're going to get the business. I can't put stuff in the barn thinking that, well, it'll turn out okay, because I got to keep moving. You know, we've got to turn that thing 3-4 times in a season.
So that was a little bit of what was said in our hour-long webinar. And of course, if our viewers are interested, didn't get a chance to sit in on that webinar when it was live, we have it archived, and you can go to the website paceexecutiveform.com and look it up for yourself and check it out.
I'm excited that we're doing more of these. I think that was a great session that you put together. I look forward to doing more of these throughout the year and leading to some interesting, maybe in-person stuff in the fall too.
Yep. Well, Richard, unfortunately for you, it's time for your favorite segment of the show. I know your weekly quiz. Time for Fun with Numbers. All right, Richard. So okay. I know we've sort of talked about part of this, but this video, but you'll have to think back a little bit to maybe get this one. So your number this week is 40%, and your clue would be U.S. fertilizer.
It's a pretty broad category.
Yes, Eric. I'm sorry, but I couldn't narrow it any further without totally giving you the softball, which I don't want to do.
No, I don't want a softball. I'll take my loss and be happy with it here. But 40% U.S. fertilizer. I'm going to take just a wild, incorrect guess and say that's the amount that average fertilizer costs have gone up in the last 10 years.
Okay, I'm sorry. The buzzer for you this week, my friend. No, this ties back to something we talked about at the top of the program when we were talking about net farmer income. Of course, one thing that we've talked about in several videos with numbers, fun with numbers, and in other segments as well, is the fact that fertilizer costs have been going up and up and up over the last 15 months. 300, 200, 190%, given whatever product you happen to be talking about. The 40%, this comes from a study that was recently done by our friends at Purdue and CME. They did a poll of US growers, and they found that 40% of them, because of the higher fertilizer costs, are planning to reduce their nitrogen fertilizer applications in 2022. So again, even though they're still making a lot of money, they're spending more money, and it looks like 4 out of 10 growers are planning to cut back on their fertilizer application in nitrogen as a result. So that could be a troubling trend for our ag retail friends going into the spring season. We'll have to see when June rolls around and we get some hard numbers on how application season went for folks, if this projection came true or not. But right now it's 40% saying they're going to cut back.
Well, I know you keep close tabs on all this stuff through your CropLife 100 research and just your other connections. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Yep. So, hey, now next week, Richard, I know there are probably several folks watching that are looking forward to, like myself, the return of an in-person event for the National Farm Machinery Show, which will be taking place in Louisville, the February 16th through the 19th. And I know I'll be down there, and we'll be doing a live report from that show, which again, since our videos air on Saturday, which will be the last day of the event, folks can check that out. And if they're planning to go to the tractor pull, which I know is a big draw on that Saturday of the show, that they can check out some of the things that we've seen, and we will have hinted at them when we talk next week. But I know I'm getting invites from folks like John Deere and AGCO and Trimble to stop by and see new products they may have, or just look at some of the products that they've introduced in the last couple of months that they haven't had a venue to introduce them at. So it should be a good show. Again, that one typically draws about 300,000 people. over the course of those 4 days to the Kentucky Convention Center, and we'll see if the numbers stay up again for 2022's show.
It's always interesting to see as things start to open back up, how many folks are able to come, but hopefully we'll have a big group. I know we'll have a pretty good group from Meister there, so.
Yeah, I think there'll be about 4 of us going down to that event at least. And like I said, if you can't make it to the show, watch our videos over the next couple of weeks. I know we'll have someone there shooting videos at booths, so we'll have some video to share. And also, of course, check out the websites and pages of the magazines, CropLife and CropLife Iron, to see what was there if you can't go yourself.
Absolutely. Look forward to hearing what you find.
All right. Well, I think that'll cover it for this week, Richard. I thank you for joining us. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in this week, and we'll look forward to seeing you again real soon.
Thanks, Eric.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.